Hello, I'm John Rushton, your emotions expert, and we're going to talk about you don't need permission or acceptance to be you. It's very important in life that you feel comfortable with who you are. Because if you don't feel comfortable with who you are, you're going to actually have a position where you're not going to perform abundantly. You're going to be always one behind, or two behind, or three behind, or not even perform well at all. You've got to actually understand who you are and that your place in life is rightfully yours. You don't need permission or authority or anything else to be you. You were born a unique person. It doesn't matter whether you were part of triplets or sextuplets or anything. You are still you. You are an individual. And that is something you must keep in your mind at all times. Regardless of your upbringing or your background or anything else, you are still you. And as you get older, you have the ability to change who you are and where you are, to mold into and utilize the best abilities you have within you. All your thoughts and your feelings and how they develop, and your likes and your dislikes, and in another conversation we've spoken about your superpowers, all those come into the fore. And so you've got to be the person that understands who you are. And it's not one of these soul searching things or new age things. This is literally understanding you as a person and not pushing things to one side because someone didn't like what you did or what you say. It doesn't matter what other people say. What other people say about you is all about them. It's nothing to do with you. Okay, what they say about you could be quite accurate, but by the same token, it's still about them. It's their opinion about you. And there's only one opinion that really matters in life, and that's your opinion. You have to live with you 24/7. You think, you move, you eat, you sleep, you snore, you have pains and aches and all these kind of things. You get flu and cold. This is you in your entirety. This is you deciding on what you want to wear, your clothes, what you want to eat, where you go on holiday, who your friends are, what you say to them, your hobbies, your likes, your dislikes. It just goes on and on and on. The list is quite large. This is about you being you. And as you get older, from your sort of schooling age, people will start to formulate opinions. In fact, if you haven't already understood that aunts and uncles and neighbors and friends and whatever will always say to you, what are you doing that for? Why are you doing that? Why are you doing that? What have you got that color for? Why haven't you done this? Oh, those children are doing that. Why aren't you doing this? Where are you going that out there for? Why are you staying up so late? Why are you doing this? And this is nothing to do with you. None of that has anything whatsoever to do with you. It's all to do with these stupid people around you who are interested and using you as some kind of entertainment center for their own thought process. This is all about their ignorance. And while some people may be genuinely interested in your future, so your parents or brothers or sisters or whatever, or friends, boyfriends, girlfriends, whatever, at the end of the day, their ignorance has nothing to do with how you go forward, because you can't tell everybody everything, and you're not here to explain everything to everybody just because somebody wants to know. You're not a sidekick. You're not an entertainment center. You're not some kind of person that, oh, we'll see what they want to do. And you're not here to answer just so that they've got information that they can ask more questions and actually give their opinion of who you are, what you are. Their opinion is not needed. If you want someone's opinion, you will ask them for their opinion. And that's it. You don't need any more. You just do what you want to do. And to be honest, it's to hell with all these people. And whilst, as I say, some of them may have their best interests at heart, don't let them persuade you or steer you or veer you off into some other course just because they cannot understand why you're doing it, or it's an area in which they are fearful themselves. When people give you a response to something, it's not only just a response to that particular item or article or scenario or whatever. It actually is a reflection of their own inferior status. It's a reflection of what they're good at, what they're not good at. And so if you want to be a chef, and you're talking to people who can't boil an egg because they're so thick and stupid, their response to you is going to be somewhat negative. So, well, I don't know. Well, if you want to do that, well, it's hard work. Well, of course it's hard work, but what do you care? This is the love of your life you're wanting to do. You're wanting to develop this, maybe open your own restaurants in the future. Maybe this is something you want to do ultimately years down the line. This is all about you. And because of the people can't understand you, don't put up with any of their diatribe or their negativity or stupidity, as a lot of it is, or basically a lot of what they say is ignorance. It's pure ignorance. And quite often when you tell people what you want to do and you're getting really excited, you put the fear of God into them because they can't understand that. They can't understand why you are getting so worked up and so hyper and excited about this subject when it leaves them not only cold, they're frightened because they don't understand what you understand. They don't see a future because they haven't a clue what they're talking about anyway, and they don't have an interest, and therefore it's actually sending them in weird areas. And this actually happens not only in families, but in careers guidance, and sometimes even in employment agencies. They cannot see within you what you want to do. And sometimes when they're looking for people outside the box, they wouldn't know if the box hit them in the face because they're just looking for a theoretical aspect. But inside themselves, they're not capable of going any further. And I suppose if they were capable, they wouldn't be doing what they're doing now. So you've got to look at things in the bigger picture. Always stick your ground. Make mistakes if you have to make mistakes. If you're going to make mistake after mistake after mistake after mistake after mistake, then just go for it, because this will be your strength. This is all about you. You will be a very wise person because you'll know why you made a mistake, what happens when you mistake, and how to get out of it. And when you've made a lot of mistakes, you actually become a very knowledgeable person, and you become quite grounded and quite seasoned, and you're quite understanding of life itself because you've had to deal with lots of people and lots of levels and all these. So you're now becoming quite a proficient communicator because of what's happened. This is about your life. This is all about you. You do not need permission to be you. You do not need anybody's authority to be you. To hell with them. People do what they want to do, and always look down the line. And if you're fed up of people talking to you, just say yes, 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 agree with everything they say, and then walk off and just do what you want to do. At the end of the day, your life is yours. And advice from people who are not going to pick up the pieces when it all goes wrong. You'll see all those people who've given you advice, and if something goes wrong, you won't see them. They won't be within a million miles of you. They'll be somewhere hiding and denying this and say, well, of course it's you shouldn't have done this. You shouldn't have said anything, because quite often advice is good stuff. I mean, don't push advice away from people, but a lot of so-called experts are only experts of the knowledge of that particular field. They're not knowledge of the business acumen or anything else. You go to a bank manager and you ask for some financial advice, and they have their criteria, so they will give you all that, and a lot of it's quite good. But as to making your own way in life and your own volition and your own company, they haven't a clue, because they're not entrepreneurs. They don't otherwise they'd be doing it themselves. You need to do that if you have a certain spark, a certain aptitude, a certain thought process, a certain ability, a certain anything to do what you need to do, something which excites you above and beyond everything else. Do it. And it may take a while to come to the fore. You may have 2 or 3 jobs or go into a few areas, or you may actually just think, I just haven't a clue what to do. But you still don't need permission or acceptance to be in this status and just wander forward. At least if you're wandering, you're not always as lost as you think you are. You're actually making headway. You're gaining information. You're gathering information. And even when you think you're lost, when you look back and think, why I did this and this, this is good basic stuff. This is information all about you. Don't fear the unknown. Don't fear fear. only look at it as an information system which is actually giving you something within yourself. It's uplifting your life. It's making you more wholesome, a better, more stable person, somebody full of more interests and more academic understanding of life. And it's not always a question of great learning. It's actually you having the nuances to do it. It's like all these coffee shops, and why there's another chain of coffee shops open, and another and another and another. And why do they keep bringing new cars out when there are already dozens out there? It's because it's a certain take of life. Don't listen to other people say, oh, there's already 4 coffee shops chains out there. What do you want to do another one for? It just shows you their narrow, dull, boring, debased negativity. They're expressing their own fear and their lack of knowledge. Don't pick that up from them. You go and do it, because your particular style, your particular take on of this coffee shop could be another number one. It could be something which goes global, because you have got another aspect which is different from all the rest. And life evolves, and what was good 10 years ago may be losing its color at the moment. It may be getting a bit tarnished. It may be getting a bit of something which is not really wholesome anymore. But yours is on target. You've got to modify everything else. So keep this to yourself. And as I keep saying, you don't need permission. You don't need acceptance to be you. You only need you to do what you need to do. And when you do that, you will find the right people around you. You'll find your right partners around you. You will have a fabulous life. It'll be rich. Enjoyment will be yours, and everything else. So just take that on board, that everything can be yours if you step out of the box and do it.